the bag work about of apartment 5B.
You're now tuned into the Apartment 5B podcast, where we chop it up about hip-hop, R&B, sports, love and life. Hosted by Kill.
Let's bring them on, ladies and gentlemen.
What's good? Y'all tuning in Apartment 5B podcast hosted by your man, Kill. I got my squad up here in effect with me today. We gonna chop it up. I got my man DJ Rec One. What's going on, fam?
What's going on, man? Yankees made it. We good.
Yeah. I see.
And they coming down here, so you know I'm talking big shit.
I know you are. Jace, what's good, brother? Jace, what's poppin'?
What up? Sorry.
It's all good, bro. I got my man Nick out the ATL. What's good, fam?
What's good? We didn't make it. We not good.
Hey, it's all good. It's all good. Still got love.
Dog, the funny thing is I'm trying to watch the Nats game and I just realized I got a Cubs hat on, but it is what it is. Me and Nick done talked about this. With hats, it's all about what matches and what.
Yeah, the flavor. Yeah.
I don't got with hats, there ain't no allegiance, so whatever. But Vag, what's going on, man?
What up, man?
Man, I got this dude 2 feet out of retirement, but we gotta take a step. I tried to come up here and just push too fast. I'm like, that's up the progress that I'm doing. Let me back another 2.
I saw the joint that Vegas had posted when you asked him about it.
Pretty much.
I gotta say, we gotta go slow. Speaking of Vague, this week's show comes courtesy of him because, of course, he sends me a link. And I'm not even gonna give this website any pub because I feel like now it's just click. And it's just cats who just write anything reckless just to get talked about and tweet about. So I'm not even gonna name names, but somebody did the top 25 best producers on the mic, and it was whack. They had like Large Pro at like 23, and Juicy J at 19, and like Missy was number 3, and it just this site used to be on some real hip hop shit. It used to really be a graph mag, so it kind of threw me to even see a Juicy J and a Missy in there because years past they wouldn't have been, but seasons change, people change. So y'all know we gotta come. I'm on my Rakim shit. I'm like, this is how it should be done. So every time somebody does something whack, me and my team gonna come together and show y'all how it should be done. So we talking about the top 5 producers on the mic in actual order. Sometimes we just chop it up, whatever. But tonight we're doing a specific order. From a lot of questions, could ghostwriters be on here? That's all good with me. I'm not going to do no ghostwriters, you know what I mean? But there have been a lot of producers on the mic who do have ghostwriters or whatever like that. So mine won't be, but that's going to be open. So, Veg, as always, you set us off with this topic. So who's your number 5 producer on the mic?
Oh, man. Damn, I was hoping you wouldn't go first.
We could do that. I could bounce.
I got one, because I got about 6 down here, but I wanted to narrow it down. I'm going to go with a dude who I was kind of new to, mainly because I heard he worked with another producer, Ghostwriting, probably helping out with the beats, and that's Black Milk.
Okay.
I feel like that dude, he is criminally slept on as a producer and more importantly as a rapper. I kind of feel like looking at this list and that other list, I feel like if you're going to be mentioned as a rapper, whether you have a ghostwriter or not, because I have some up here who have ghostwriters, I feel like when it comes to a dude like Black Milk, you can really separate him from his production, and he's a really good rapper. You know what I'm saying? Or you can just analyze his production, and he's a hell of a producer. And I think maybe not his last 2 albums, but the two albums that really struck a chord with me was I think one was called Hell Below, and the other one was like no poison, no something. I'm sorry, I don't have it in front of me.
That's
it. Yeah,
you know what I'm saying? Like those two albums were back to back, and when I first heard them, I heard of Black Milk before, and I knew about him doing production with Kanye and all that, and I was just like, yo, why not? There's not a lot of people who talk about him. You know what I'm saying? I'm like, this dude's production is excellent. It's not just boom bap. You know what I'm saying? It's a lot of live instrumentation in there, and it's meshed well. And then he knows what to do with the track. You know what I'm saying? A lot of producers that rhyme sometimes, whether they got a ghostwriter or not, they can hear what they want on there. But this dude is able to execute, and he writes his own shit. So I kind of put him in there, above probably some of my favorites of all time, just because he's just better than some of them in both regards. So Black Milk is my number 5.
Oh, that's dope. That's dope. It's funny, I always rock with dude, but I think I heard one of them joints. You said one of them is called like Hell Below or something like that.
Yeah.
I think you got to go back and check Tronic.
The Tronic was
you got to check his first 2 albums. His first album was more so like a beat tape, like kind of just introductory after he broke with RJ. But from about 2007 to about 2012, this dude was on a tangent, man.
Yeah.
You must check him live. His live show will put people to fucking shame. His drummer's fucking sick. That dude got like 9 hands. He must. You gotta check his shows. That's a good pick, Veg. Real talk. That's
Thanks.
a good pick.
No doubt. I gotta check dude out. Dude knowledge on dude. I think when he came out, there was a couple of producers coming out from Detroit. It was like Dilla passed, and I kind of just felt like it was a whole bunch of Dilla.
I'll send you some early stuff tonight once we done. I'll send you some early stuff.
But I do know, I think I heard one of them joints, the Hell joint, and then I heard a couple of joints off of that, and that was really, really good.
You got some joints with your man Royce, Killer.
The one I really like the most, the one that made me feel like real confident in his skill was No Poison, No Paradise. I think that's what it's called.
Yeah.
Dope.
Like, Kill, I'm telling you, man, that's like one of those, like how you be going to work and you pick a CD, is one of them joints where you put it on and you just kind of like, oh shit, this is better than I thought,
Sunday's best, Monday's worst.
Mm-hmm. So dope, man.
All right, no doubt. I gotta get up on Black Milk. Nick, who you got on your list, bro?
From the South, I'm gonna start at the South. Pimp C, rest in peace. That's the cat. He wasn't necessarily the best lyricist, but what I liked about him, he did improve album to album. And what UGK specialized in, because like a lot of the current guys that do like the I hate to say gangster rap, but the more harder content, they don't give you both sides of the story. And that's one thing the cats from the Houston, Port Arthur area mastered. But Scarface, same thing. Like Pimp C, they gave you the ups and the downs. They didn't just glamorize the money and the rise to the top. They give you the downfall, the deceit, the betrayal of friends. They gave you the whole spectrum. And I just like his attitude, because like when we weren't accepted at one point, he's like, all right, cool, y'all don't like us, fuck it, we ain't doing hip hop. we do country rap tunes. I just always liked his whole persona. So Pimp C is my number 5.
Now tell me this, bro, because Pimp C's from Houston, right?
Port Arthur. Port Arthur. It's like southeast, I think. Mm-hmm. So Houston, yeah.
It's about 45 minutes from Houston.
But it's Texas, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
All right. That's considered down south? I always thought that
down south.
Midwest.
I mean, Midwest, down south. Honestly, I don't know how
they consider it down here, down south, man. Like when
south of the map.
They consider themselves the South. Yeah.
You know, my problem is, bro, geography is not my shit. So when you say down south, I'm
lost too.
You know what I mean? Yeah, I'm like waiting to hear, like, okay, like, but
Atlanta, South Carolina, Tennessee.
Right.
Yeah.
All right, cool. So Houston is considered down south. All right, Jason, who you got up for your number 5?
Oh man, this is hard, Kill. This is really hard. But number 5, Funky Technician, Return of the Funky Man, The Awakening, the SP 1200 project. I got Lord Finesse, man.
Yes, sir.
Dope.
On my list.
dope producer, super dope on the Wheels of Steel as well, man. I think he's undeniable. I remember hearing him on a doo-wop mixtape, and I had seen him before, didn't really pay him any attention, heard him on a doo-wop mixtape, and ran back everything, hip to the game, Return of the Funky Man, like I already said, man, dope MC, dope producer as well. If you haven't checked out the SP1200 project, check that out.
I need to check that out.
When did that come out?
That came out like 2-3 years ago.
Word?
Yeah.
Okay, I'm on it.
Definitely on my list. Can I add to that a little bit?
Yeah.
Another thing about Lord Finesse that I like on the production side of things, my man closed out Biggie's Ready to Die joint, so he cashed in on that. Mm-hmm. And he closed out Dre's 2001, only one with solo production credit. So I want to give my man props on that.
Mm-hmm.
That's dope.
Funky man.
That's dope. It's funny story behind the Dre joint. I remember reading how he was out there working, and he was out there with the SP1200. And he felt like he was like a caveman because they all had the MPs, and they were like, yo, we still waiting for that shit to load, you know. He copped the 3000. It was like, yo, like we waiting on like 10 minutes for this to load up, and it's like, nah, I got to come to the 21st century. Down in New York, he went and got an MP3000. So
and he was like the precursor. He was like he predated Big L style. I think like Big L kind of come off of that tree.
It's funny because I always looked at, and it's a bad comparison, but now I think about it's a bad comparison. It's almost the flip. Because I always, like you said, I always looked at like Big L's style was sort of like Lord Finesse. So it always throws me when people be like, I don't really like Lord Finesse, but I'm like, well, you like Big L? And they be like, yeah. And I'm like, well, it's kind of hard to, how do you like Big L, but you don't like Lord Finesse? You know what I mean? And I was thinking like in terms of like with Fat Joe and Pun. Now, of course, Fat Joe was never nowhere near Pun. Yeah. But just the fact that like, you know, these two MCs brought these other two MCs in, and Big L, Big Pun, they both passed away. So, you know, just something like that. But yeah, I never understood the whole, I don't really feel Lord Finesse lyrically, but niggas love Big L.
we talked about that a little bit last week too.
Because Finesse was nasty. Finesse was
exactly.
I gotta do my homework on Lord Finesse, man. Believe it or not, I caught up to him late, man, and I still got a lot of work to do on Lord Finesse, man. So I'm gonna get there.
It's funny because when Rag, if you remember when we had OC on, how Finesse would battle cats and just walk away with money,
just walk away,
you know. So
because old boy was telling the story about Finesse when he was at the show.
Yeah,
that story was hilarious.
Yeah, so Finesse is definitely, like you said, a dope MC and a dope MC. Jay, so you got on for your number 5? Jason, who you got for your number 5?
That was my number 5, Lord Finesse.
Oh, my bad, man. I'm slow-mo tonight. My bad. Rack, who you got for your number 5?
Number 5, man, I got Eric Sermon. EPMD,
on my list too. Yes, sir. Yeah.
I didn't know this guy was producing until like the second or third album. I went back and did all of the credits, and I got to go with E. Sermon, man. From EPMD to Hit Squad, Def Squad, the early 90s outside of that. D'Angelo. This dude's produced for damn near everybody, man. Cats I didn't name, so E. Sermon, man.
No doubt. You know, E. Sermon, and it's funny because every time somebody names somebody, I may not shoot them down, but just say why they didn't make my list. With E. Sermon, there's so much hoopla around who actually produced those EPMD albums. You know?
Yeah, the early ones, yeah.
When I did my best the E. Sermon mixtape, I didn't include any EPMD stuff. You know, I just included Def Squad and stuff like that, which is still dope.
It's still dope.
You know, up there, but
so he got some funny business going on, basically.
Oh well, no, not that.
Like Parrish was kind of claiming he was doing it.
Right, and then just a couple of weeks ago, maybe last week on Twitter, I think Scratch posted something saying EPMD produced all of that EPMD stuff.
I had EPMD period because I know that both of them work together.
Right, and I didn't know.
At one point, they were cutting tape to mesh tracks together as opposed to using a machine. They were splicing tape.
Right. Okay. I mean, I'm with it. I mean, shoot, for the sake of argument.
But then what I would say is what happened to Parrish production skills after that.
Nah, I mean, and to me, that's always been because you know that era. was like same thing with Tip. And the only reason why I knew Tip was the producer was because I heard what Tip was producing and what Ali was producing.
Yeah, it was totally different.
Outside of the
So it just showed, I kind of just put two and two together. I was like, oh, okay, it was Tip. And I agree with you. PMD never had that knock. But again, with Scratch saying, yo, it was PMD, I don't know what to say. It's a classic old school magazine called the magazine.
It is.
And in here, Biz is saying, you know, that he produced the first couple of albums.
And, he said he produced the first who albums?
The first couple of EPMD albums. I'm gonna read it to you. This
Biz said he done produced everything.
Wait, he said
he produced EPMD.
He produced it?
Strictly business, but hold tight, because this is gonna go into a thing of time and age in hip hop. But this is what Biz says. I'm gonna read it right here. Okay, so Big Daddy. Okay, I heard rumors that you provide a lot of beats for the EPMD album. Biz, I was supposed to do the first EPMD album. I did like Jane and stuff like that. I hooked them up, but my label didn't want me to do the first album because they were a rival record across the street. I was supposed to do the whole first album. You know, they got a lot of stuff from me, but you know, me and Eric Sermon is boys though. So the thing that I got from that was, and it's the older head, even I'm 43, older than me, is that you have cats who believe that if I gave you the rap, you know, if I gave you the rap, you know what I mean? So, you know, and that's the older generation, because, you know, it was like, you know, because now you have, and I always say, and we're going to do a show on this, the 20-year silence gap in hip hop, kind of like this Harvey Weinstein stuff that's going on. Like, I'm like, why now? You know, I'm glad it's coming out, but I'm just like, why now? How like everybody was cool with Marley, and then like after like a 15-year span, then everybody just came out the woodwork. Like, Marley ain't do shit. I did everything. I'm like, y'all done been in the Source, y'all done been XXL, y'all done been on rap. Yeah. Like, what is it, a 15-year-old gag order? Like, about really did it. But of course, Kane is like, yo, I brought the records to Marley. Even Shan, I'm like, damn, that even Shan talking about I brought the records to Marley or whatever like that. You know, so you know, so that's the only reason why, you know, E. Sermon didn't make my top 5. He would make my top 10 just based off of all the stuff he did afterwards. Yeah. When I thought he did all those EPMD albums, oh yeah, he would have damn sure made my top 5. You know, but that's what it is. For my number 5, I gotta go to Queensbridge, go with my man Havoc. You know, Earth. I mean, the thing I loved about Hav is that you don't have too many people who, you know, I think a lot of times people look at things and they think it doesn't really take a lot of skill. I'll use myself, for example. I watch Steph Curry play basketball. I think I could just fucking run down the court, just throw the shit up, because it looks so effortless. It doesn't look like it takes anything. I think a lot of people think, yo, I can make beats. You know what I mean? That's why there's so many producers. Same thing with MCs. Everybody thinks they're an MC. And the thing that I loved about Havoc and Outkast was they were one of the few people who didn't produce. You know what I mean? And learned how to produce and became great producers. You know what I mean? Because if I'm not mistaken, I don't think Havoc did anything on Juvenile Hell. You know? Yeah. I know Primo and Large Pro and other dudes were doing that. So to go from not producing to then banging out the Infamous like, like, come on, like there's people who've been producing their whole life who can't make an album and make beats like, you know, Shook Ones and stuff like that. And then to come back with Hell on Earth and you know, all the stuff that Havoc has done, you know, being on Biggs, you know, Life After Death album. Yeah. Havoc makes a lot of albums that most other producers wouldn't make. Like Big, I mean, with Big, it was always the Hitman, Premiere, or kind of bust with them, you know. Yeah. I had to creep in and make that. I know Hab was on the new Kanye joint, you know, so Hab gets a lot of production credits that a lot of people may not pay attention to. And to me, he got doper on the mic. I never thought Hab was whack. You know what I mean? Was whack. Yeah, you're right. You know, the Infamous, I never thought like, yo, this dude is whack. I just felt like P was just better than him, but he was never whack. But I definitely think after the Summer Jam fiasco that, like, I call that the what's my man's name who missed the free throws for Orlando? Nick Anderson. That was like Prodigy's Nick Anderson moment, that Summer Jam. You know, and he was never the same after that. But like, have surpassed Prodigy. Like, you know, like even the joint that him and Alchemist just dropped. Like I was just listening to that this week, and that joint, like Hav is now able to me hold down a full album dolo, you know, and it'd be cool. So that's my number 5. Got to go with Havoc on that. Vague, who's your number 4?
For my number 4, I got Dr. Dre.
Okay.
I feel like, you know, knowing that he had ghostwriters or whatever, I feel, and you know, the suspect situation with his production credits, but nevertheless, I mean, especially if you watch that Defiant ones, you know Dr. Dre is a producer when you sit there and watch him in the studio. You know what I'm saying? He's a mad scientist, and I always felt like with his rhymes, even though it may have been written by, you know, Snoop and Ice Cube and Ren and DOC and all these other people, I always felt like they belonged to him. You know what I'm saying? Like, it never felt like he was reciting what someone else gave him to say because that's what they think Dre should say. I always felt like it was his words and someone just put it together so he could be able to convey it. And he always did a great job. You look at songs like Deep Cover and Nothing But a G Thing. It's not like, oh, well, Snoop verse is high, but Dre shit is whack. Like, no, it's equally as good. You know what I'm saying? Or Dre Day or whatever. And I just think like that whole G-Funk sound and, you know what I'm saying, the stuff he did with NWA and then the stuff that he was doing that was different for Eminem and not the Firm album. Not that shit. But even there, you know, it was kind of like he had a signature sound and he was able to apply it where you hear it and you know it's Dre, but it's Dre with Eminem or it's Dre with 50 or it's Dre with Nas or whoever. I just think like, you know, you look at Dre and you think about production, but you also look at him as an artist, and I think that's what you want when whether you write your rhymes or you be getting ghostwriters. You want people to look at you and say, you know, you the one of the best to ever do it. So, yeah, I had Dre number 4.
All right, no doubt. My only knock on Dre is, of course, the ghost production. Well, both, you know, but I do think there was a certain point where Dre had to be making the beats. You know what I mean? Straight Outta Compton, Niggas for Life, Jazz Around. You know, I've never heard anything like Yella saying he made the beats or anything like that. So like even like kind of similar with the Eric Sermon, when I do my Best of Dre mixtape, I kind of cut it off after it cuts off with Dog Style. Like anything whole 2001 on, I kind of don't know. You know, that's when Mailman came in and different cats started claiming things. But to me, I would at least hope and assume that from Straight Outta Compton, which is 88, 89, to Snoop, which is 94, 93. 93, that all of that was Dre. And again, that's dope enough. And the thing, like you said about the ghostwriting, the thing I do love, like what you said about Dre, is that, and even with this Compton album, and I know I'm the only person who still loves this album.
No, man, I like it still.
Yeah, I know I'm the only one. I'm cool with it. I tweeted it the other day. Me, Dre, and Anderson .Paak. We like the only this is like a classic album. But and what Vegas is saying is that when I hear Dre rhyme, I almost feel like it's an actor saying his part. You know what I mean? It's almost like as a director looking back, like, yo, he nailed that scene. Like, I believe it when Dre is rhyming it, if that even makes sense. But it's believable coming out of his mouth. And the funny thing is just I really want to know how far this ghostwriting thing goes back. Like, did he write anything? Like, did he write for Straight Outta Compton? Did he write for Niggas for Life? Was it always somebody? Because Vegas, I think I sent it to you, the joint that was out a couple of years ago called Topless. That T.I.
did. It was a commercial.
Yeah. Well,
it was a commercial.
It was a joint that leaked, and it was a reference track for Dre.
Yeah, it's on the Detox Leaks.
Yeah, when I'm hearing it, T.I. is talking about Compton and SP 1200 Monster, and I'm like, yo, what the fuck is this nigga T.I. talking about? He's from Compton. And then it like word got the ear, like, nah, that was a reference track for Dre. And I'm like, oh, okay, you know, shit, T.I. sounded good doing it, you know.
Yeah.
And then Nas killed it, and the beat was crazy, but you know, good shit.
The Luda joint was tight too.
I didn't even hear Luda joint.
I'll put that in your little care package tonight.
All right, I'm down.
Yo, the one thing too, like with Eric Sermon, I had him like honorable mention. He was like right outside. But we ain't talk about him as an MC though.
Yeah.
We talked about his production.
Yeah.
But how do we feel about him as an MC?
I love Eric Sermon, man.
I thought it was.
I love Eric Sermon.
Man, I always, like in the group, I thought Parrish was better. Like after the group, I felt like Eric Sermon got better. I don't know what happened to Parrish after '92. I really don't.
My nigga, he got robbed that gun.
I'm about to say his man stuck him up.
Oh, wait, maybe that
you got robbed by your best friend, B. You ain't never gonna be the same. But
yeah, I guess that's what happened.
I think Eric, when he was a part of the group, he was more he was all right as an MC, but he was more the charisma, more the character. But once he stepped out on his own, he had to carry, and he did.
Yeah.
You see, that's how
It was kind of like UGK to me. Like Bun B is the lyricist, Pimp C was the character. He was the dude with the charisma. That's how EPMD was.
You know, Parrish put out an album, right?
Yeah, and it
Like
was
a new
trash.
I didn't
Hold up, you said a new one? Like a new one, man?
Like a new.
like a new album, like last week.
Yeah, these cats got to stop, man.
I ain't checking for that.
Yeah,
Just live off the hits. Man.
I ain't trying to disrespect the
I'm not.
but
I'm not.
the
No,
cover
no,
looked
no.
like a fucking party flyer. Being honest. I looked at that shit
Like one of them old No Limit flyers from '97.
No, those look better. Those
Oh God!
work.
Dang.
This shit was somebody in his house while this nigga was stretching. Like, oh, let me take a flick, and then they put the title on the shit, and it was like, yo, new album. I got a story about him too, but I'll leave that alone.
Oh
Man, why you gonna put that out there, man?
No. Stories tonight. We already got enough disheartening news to people with album. Now we're done.
I didn't hear it, so it could be dope.
It could be. As far as Eric Sermon with me, the thing is like, I think the era that I grew up in, we weren't like these lyrical fucking like scientists. Like we weren't with no I feel like now, like you gotta have your magnifying glass out, like somebody's lyrics, like yo, it was like Eric is dope and P is dope. Like that's all it was back in the 80s. It wasn't no who's better. It was just like, yo, EPMD the shit. Like that. Those are the conversations we had in the 80s. Like, yo, you like EPMD? Like, fuck yeah. And that's where it stopped. Like, I don't know what happened in the 90s where it was like, well, who's better and who's technically will print out their lyrics. And I don't know if it was the internet, but yo, Eric was dope to me. Like Nick said, to me, he was the charisma. He had the list, which was different. You know what I mean?
Yeah, the list. Yeah.
I didn't know what a list was before Eric Sermon. I'm like, yo, why he rhyme like that? You know what I mean? I remember trying to rhyme like that, like trying to emulate like how he rhymed because I thought it was dope. He did the little I am waiting. He always was singing. It kind of got tired after a while, but you know, like you said, he was the charisma, and it was so bad because I could never understand the dude. Like, it took me years to know what that nigga was saying when he was like, he drives a Corvette, I drive a Samurai Suzuki. Like,
yeah. Please listen to my demo. I had no idea what he was saying.
Like, dog, I was mumbling like he drives a Corvette. Like, I had no idea it was a Samurai Suzuki for years. So, you know, the list, and then when G-Rap came out, it was like, okay, the list is the thing. So, but shit. But I think Eric is a solid MC. Like, again, now looking at it, he's no lyrical acrobat. But again, in that era, he was good to go. I never looked at it. And again, in those days, it was either you was dope or you was whack. You know what I mean? Yeah. Nobody was like, oh, yo, Redhead Kingpin, he's all right, but he ain't no No, it was like, yo, that song is dope. We all know and love it. It wasn't like, that's cool, but he don't rhyme like, nah, it was like, yo, that shit is dope. Like, yo, this dude is singing, you know, Loving Me by Mickey Ripperton. Like, that's dope. Like, you know, he's wearing polka dots. What happened? Red got the
kitties.
Yeah.
The kitties.
It was funny because I thought he was trying to do the Kwame singing joint like I was talking about. I'm like, okay, Rec, but yeah, I'm just dating myself because back in those days we didn't have the discussions. Was just like, yo, is it dope or not? You know, and we gotta do a show on that because there was a lot of groups that I look back on and I'm like the Double X Posse and you know the K9 Posse.
I ain't gonna be able to do.
Yeah, like I'm being. No, so.
Yeah.
You look at the name, the Canine Posse. Like, yo, y'all couldn't think of a better rap name than that. Or like, the niggas Vegas Twin Trump, the twin. What was it? Twin Hype.
I kind of like that video with the championship belts and shit.
Like I said, whack, those days it was like, most of hip hop was dope. It was like Vanilla Ice was whack, Young MC was whack, and Hammer was whack. Everything else was dope. Like that's the thing. Like it was wide open back then. But that's the Eric Sermon piece.
But yeah, the only reason why I brought that up was because of the list being top producers who rap. Right. So I just wanted to make sure we kind of covered both sides.
Both sides.
So people aren't like, yo, you just talk about that.
Right. I trust. I know too much about the troll.
Yeah.
All right, Nick, who's your number 4, B?
RZA, Wu-Tang. RZA. We already know the production. And actually, he's like my top 5 Wu. Like my 5 favorite members of the Wu-Tang as rappers. He's up there. I know people don't like the way he delivered his rhymes, but like I always loved the Wu Gambino verse on Ray album. Always loved the what was the joint on Jizzles? The 4th Chamber verse, the Ninja Skill in Your Building. I always thought he was dope to me.
Nah, RZA
is number 4 on my list.
RZA is dope.
No, I was just listening to my Best of Ghost mix and Nutmeg came on. I thought
they snapped on that. Yeah,
killed that joint, man.
Snapped on that. I like some of the Bobby Digital, but he go too far. Yeah. Oh, that bong, he be on that cool key.
But he had that masquerade mask on. I was just
the
Bobby. That's why I kind of checked out, man.
Yeah, I liked a little bit of the first album, but when he came with the Bamba Ramba joint, I was done. I was done.
La Rumba.
Yeah, La Rumba. I was done.
The track he had, I don't know what album this was on. I don't know if it was on one of his solos because I didn't really dig the Bobby Digital stuff. And I'm not a big fan of RZA as a rapper anyway. But the joint he had with keeping it 100.
No doubt.
But the joint he had with Coogee Rap, Cakes.
Yeah, that was. I think that was like on one of his solos.
That shit was good. Like, and it wasn't even like a because I feel like he had some dope verses, but that was one of those where you could easily be like, yo, Coogee Rap shit is crazy, but it was like, nah, RZA shit was hot too. You know what I'm saying? And the beat was hot. I played that shit to death on Strictly Hip Hop.
No doubt. Jay, so you got for your number 4, B?
I'm echoing your sentiments, man. I got Havoc at number 4, man. I was really sold. I always thought he was dope, but I was sold on him when he pretty much carried the first M for me after the Summer Jam screen. He carried that album.
He really did. You could tell P was frustrated on that album.
Yeah. You go back and listen to that album. I mean, I gained a whole new respect for him on the mic. His production was always dope. He always gave you dope lyrics, man, but he carried that album.
He really did.
Yeah.
No doubt. Like I said, if Cass ain't checked it, that what is the name of that joint? That him and
Silent Partner.
Yeah, Silent Partner.
Silent Partner's a joint though.
That's definitely a dope album. I was just listening to that the other day. So I'm always kind of sorry because I felt like Havoc's style kind of changed after a while, and I wasn't in love with because he had a couple of solo joints before that. I wasn't in love with the production. But I kind of felt like it was dope because letting Al take it over, I just felt, I don't know because I don't rap. I can't rap. I wish I could, but just the work that you got to put into the beat is so much. You know what I mean? And then the work you got to put into the rhyme. So I thought it was dope to just let Al take that off his plate and kind of like, yo, just write your rhymes. I'm gonna hit you with the beats, and we all good from there. So yeah, that's
we would be remiss to not say that. He had Ghostwriting. That's why his style changed.
Who had
the bars and hooks dudes, or one of them?
Jesus Lord!
Hey,
come on, man.
Bars and hooks. Jeez, there's no wonder that we didn't.
Why you head nodding? Open them credits. You'll see, like, holy shit. Wait, I mean, like, I'm not saying that I'm not saying this isn't a Lil Wayne situation where you know what I'm saying, where his whole style.
Jay in his chair spinning.
You know,
I was just saying.
When did it start? When did it start?
Jace, what you do last night? What you did last week? Jace, what you do last week? False start or whatever?
No.
Like you, We'll come back to you later, man. You crushed too many dreams, bro, man. Yo,
what man, we bringing up ghostwriters for everybody. We gotta be everybody. Gotta be everybody.
Yeah, man. But the ghostwriters we talking about, we knew about. You we talking about, we don't know about.
Yeah, but see, look, it's not like unlike Dr. Dre. I think Dr. Dre is ghostwriters from the start. Like he may have one verse maybe in the very beginning that he wrote, but DLC and them been writing his stuff from the beginning. But with Havoc, when he got nice, that's when they had the bars and hooks dudes with him, and they were writing some of his stuff. Now Silent Partner, I don't know. You know, I think I could see that being all Havoc because he does write his own rhymes. But I know he had help, and you can tell the difference. Like you said, that Infamy album, that's and that other one, what's that shit? America's Nightmare.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. You know, I know he had ghostwriters because I was a little disappointed, but I knew, I'm like, well, damn, he is making these dope ass beats. Like everybody else do it, why not? You know?
You know what? Let's do this real quick. Let me take a 20-second time out to explain ghostwriting to a lot of folk out there who may be not from our generation. And I mean, we all know what the fuck it is. I'm not explaining that. But I think the reason why, at least for me, I kind of not turned a blind eye to ghostwriting back in the 80s is because people don't understand that back then. I think ghostwriting now is worse than back then for the simple fact that when you were doing it then, if all five of us lived on the same block and we said, yo, we want to be a crew, and Jace didn't rhyme, but he was our best friend and we wanted him in the group, then maybe Vegas and me would write the rhymes for That's why we did it. It was a friendship. It was like, yo, you gotta be part of the crew. It's a club. You in with us. Now it's totally different because it's like you got cats who, this is all about business now. It wasn't business. You know what I mean? And for me, that makes a difference. Like Biz having Kane write his rhymes, it's like, it was probably like, yo, Biz, man, you should rhyme, man. You got the personality. Oh, I don't write no rhymes. Yo, I got you. You know what I mean? And Picking Boogers and Vapors and all them joints, dope songs. Now I feel like it's just like, yo, I want to get on, I want to get a check. Maybe nobody else, that doesn't matter, but I feel like, at least for me, that was the difference. It wasn't like, yo, I'm going to get you on and we going to get paid and we going to split this paper. It was just like, yo, we friends. Yo, I want you to be part of what I'm doing, so come on, you know, and let's make it happen. You know, did DJ Yellow really fucking DJ? I don't know. But he probably lived on somebody's block and it was like, yo, Yellow cool, like bring him on. You know what I mean? So yeah, so that's just my 20-second time out for that. Jace, I know you just went. So, right, who's your number 4?
I'm with Veg, man. I got Dre as my number 4, man.
Okay.
NWA stuff. I mean, it's classic. Chronic, it's classic, but like you said, it's up in the air as far as who did what. 2001 is dope. The Detox leaks that I've heard, man, I'm still upset to this day he didn't put that stuff out, but I understand. Only knock is that, I mean, he don't write his lyrics, but I mean, for what it's worth, Dr. Dre is an icon, man, when it comes to the boards. He might not have pressed every button, but he doing something right, so he's my number 4, man.
And he got the voice too. He got
the voice. He got the voice. So I mean, you know, it's like Veg said, like somebody else may have wrote it, but you can tell they spent a lot of time with that dude when they wrote it because it was like curtailed for them. Like I remember when he was released in 2001, you would see Jay at the Lakers games with Dr. Dre, and then a few months later they released the album. That was why, because Jay was writing some of the lyrics. I mean, we probably didn't know them, but come to find out, that's what had happened.
That's what it was,
yeah. But I mean, I gotta put Dr. Dre on my number 4, man. I'd be wrong if I didn't.
I agree with you and Vane. He make him his own. It ain't like, not to cut you off, Kill. When what's the joint that Pharaoh did for Puff? Like before I even got the credits, when I heard that song, I said, "Why this nigga sound like he doing Pharaoh karaoke?" And then, sure enough, that's who wrote the song. I was like, he sounded just like Pharaoh.
Babe, what was you about to say?
I was gonna say to his point about the ghostwriting, like when I was in high school, I was ghostwriting for this chick, mainly because she had a lot of connections and she had heard me spit before, but she wanted to rhyme, and she was a producer primarily, you know what I'm saying? But she wanted to rhyme bad, so I always, as an MC, especially, the old school and all that, I'm feeling like, okay, well, how can I write for her, when I'm used to writing for myself? So what I would have her do is write your best rhyme. And I would take what she wanted to talk about, what she tried to convey, and I would basically edit it so that it could flow a certain way, add a little swag to it or whatever. And then it was up to her to convey that. And I think that's when it becomes difficult, because some people are really good at it, you know what I'm saying, like a Dr. Dre, and then some people like Puff, he's just going to emulate the artist, you know what I'm saying? He's not really going to embrace the lyrics as his own, because it's not really coming from him, as opposed to like with this shorty where these were her words. I just was editing it to make it tight, you know what I'm saying? So she still felt it. So, like to the whole subject of ghostwriting, that's what I mean. Like some of these dudes who are on this list, whether they write it or not, that's what also makes them dope. That they can spit that joint like they writing all of them. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. That's dope. I got some feel you on that. My number 4, Diamond D. Yeah, I mean, this album right here is a 5 mic classic to me. This joint, what I loved about Diamond, I think he was one of the first person to really rhyme about break beats. You know what I mean? He was like, I love the way he makes beats. He doesn't use break beats. So I got 1,000 old records in my crib. Like, he was one of the first people to really start talking about records and equipment and break beats and stuff like that. And, then like his stories were dope. Like, I'm Out of Here. That's one of my favorite stories. You know what I mean? Like he kind of gave it all to you. He probably would have moved up higher on my list if, the hatred, passion.
Yeah, the second joint was tighter, yeah.
Yeah, it was kind of suspect. And then it took like 5 years. Then it took him like another 20 years to put out the next album and everything like that. So he probably would have moved up more. But definitely Diamond D is my number 4 on that. Hey, number 3.
For number 3, I got Havoc. I feel like you know what I'm saying? Like with Juvenile Hell, I bought that after Infamous. Because I had heard the Sparfit joint before. But I wasn't excited about it like that. And I just when I heard Infamous, and initially I didn't know that Havoc was doing production. I thought it was just 2 MCs. And I knew, Q-Tip was working with them. But like how Havoc got better with the rhymes, ghostwriting or not, he got better with the beats, man. He has some of the most iconic hip hop beats of all time, man. Like that Shook Ones beat, the Godfather Part 3, like when that
White Lines.
Like sometimes when I'm going to work,
Drink Away the Pain.
Godfather Part 3 comes on, man. Like
man.
I resort back to the hood. I be ready to like fuck somebody up on the train, like yo, word.
I'm like that with Burn. When Burn comes on,
like I used to have some ill freestyles over that beat. But yeah, you know what I'm saying? Like he just got so many, you know what I'm saying? And like you said earlier about him having producer credits in places that you wouldn't even think. You know what I'm saying? You wouldn't even know, because Havoc just works. He just pumps out production. I think Lord Finesse is like that too. Like there were a lot of times I didn't know Lord Finesse produced beats on certain albums until I looked at the credits. Because these dudes, you know what I'm saying, they're just as into the production as they are with the rapping part. And I think that commitment on both sides is what makes them dope, you know what I'm saying? So salute to Havoc. He's my top 3, man.
Yeah, no doubt. Nick, who you got for your number 3?
Mine's Havoc. Yep, Havoc is on there. He had a banger on Foxy's first album.
Yeah, you're right. He did.
He had a banger on her album. That's one of the few, because the album I ain't like that much, but that song right there was one of them. But yeah, man, like everybody already said, like the beats from the infamous Hell on Earth, Murder Music, like the beats speak for themselves, and even with the rhymes, like his verse on the Hell on Earth, the title cut, like he's fast out on that.
Yeah, like he always had a Quiet Storm.
Exactly. Yeah. Yep. Oh hell yeah! Like Quiet Storm is just.
What y'all think about Last Day?
Even in the South, Last Days, yeah, that was tight. That's the joint with Big and the Locks.
Big and Locks joint.
Yeah.
I mean, I ain't gonna hold you. That was probably not one of my least favorite. I mean, I liked it, but I mean,
was just like,
yeah, it wasn't like I never really banged Last Days. I probably only listened to it 2 or 3 times in all these years.
Damn.
Yeah, but I mean, it's still a dope beat. But you know, when you got kicking the door and fucking you tonight, and I got a story to tell, like
it makes sense.
It's gonna come in kind of last on that first piece. Yeah, but no, not.
Yeah.
I think the thing what happened for me a lot of times was the snare. He just had those snares that would just, you know, my man, my old man Boots, who kind of schooled me to the beat game. He used to always say, your snare should sound like a pimp smacking a bitch. Ladies out there, but that was how he explained.
Get that shut down in 2017. Man.
Yeah,
because it's about to go down.
Pimp smacking his hoe, is that better? Still bad? All right, forget it. That hard snare. That was the moral to the story. I think for me, that's what I felt like throughout time, kind of drifted off with it. And I don't know if that was like they would say, a boom bap thing coming to a whole, like snares were real hard. Like being a producer in the 90s, it was all about your snares. Like, do you hear that snare? You hear that, you know, and I don't know if it was Dilla coming in with the hand claps or what, but somewhere the hard snare just kind of
faded out. Yeah,
like, you know, I'm still one of them producers who still, I always say it's how you were raised. You know, if you polite to women, you were probably raised that way. So even now I be trying to find the hardest snare, especially on my R&B joints. Like if I'm making a joint for T, I'm like, all right, it's R&B, but I wanted to have a hard snare, like, you know, because when you even think about White Lines, not Quiet Storm, that's a hard track, but listen to that snare. It's like a tap, like it ain't no snap. And I'm like, yo,
that's what it starts with. So for me as a DJ, I cut that in.
Yeah, but I remember hearing that being like, yo, that's the snare. Like, yo, what the fuck? Like, where's the snare? Like, why is there such a light in the ass snare on such a hard track? And I don't know.
The bass line was so heavy. He's like, like back to the God Part 3 joint that Vegas were talking about. Just the fact that he thugged out Bonita Applebum. Like that's the same beat, right? He just like thugged it out. Like, yo, that shit was crazy.
Yeah. No doubt. Jay, so you got for your number 3.
Number 3, I got Q-Tip, man. Primo, Younger Brothers. I know that some people may question some of his production between him and Dilla, the Uma later on. But even with the stuff that we know he did, one of my favorite joints was the World Is Yours Tip remix.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
A lot of the joints that he's actually done that we know for a fact he's done, he's got production with Busta Rhymes. Of course, The Tribe, just to name a few. There's a whole bunch.
Mobb Deep.
The Mob. Hooshnickens back in the day. I don't know if y'all remember them.
Come on now. Craig Mack, he got production with.
Oh yeah, that remix.
Remix tough. Sick.
Yeah, man. And he was dope. And I mean, he's got some off the wall ideas on some of his solo albums. But if he gave you a joint, if he blessed you in the '90s with a track, you definitely came up.
Yeah, the thing about Tip with me was I always felt like I say he was like the Fab of the 90s. What I mean by that is that when you look, I don't think folk really realize how many guest appearances Fab has. Like Fab has had a lot. That dude may be pushing 100 of guest appearances. That's how Tip was. Like Tip was on everybody's album. If it wasn't the Brand New Heavies, it was
Janet Jackson. Yeah, it was everywhere.
R&B, it was alternative. Like everybody wanted the Tip verse.
Yep.
Joint back in the day. So yeah, I definitely feel you with the Tip joint. Who you got next up, Rap?
Dilla, man. Dilla, game changer, man. I mean, you said it last week. Cats stole this dude's whole style and owe him not even an older gratitude, but like their lives for what they've done with this dude's sound and technique. So, from a beat standpoint, you know, dude is dope. But I love his raps, man. The dude would say some off the wall shit, man, and it would go with what he was talking about, man. Even to this day, man, you go to a basketball game and you'll hear like a Dilla snippet, you know, where they be like, turn it up or something like that. You know, like, it's crazy to watch this dude have snippets in NBA games. But nah, man, Dilla's verses was sight to me, man. I like Dilla, man. It's my dude.
No doubt. For my number 3, I got the man out of Queens, the Large Professor.
Large Pro.
Production wise, I mean, this album right here says so much just by itself. If go to We'll Make Beats for Food, I did a double CD mixtape of Large Pro, one just with him on the mic, and then one just with stuff that he produced. He was definitely the first person to ever remix the Gangstar joint with Gotta Get Over off the Trespass soundtrack. And the first person who I've ever liked his beat better than the Primo original. I know a lot of people love the You Can't Stop the Prophet Pete remix better than the OG, but I love the OG. Like, I loved it. Pete killed it. But I just felt that was better. I know some people like the Dice Pete real hip hop remix better than the Cream. I'm still with the Cream. But Gotta Get Over, like that shit was just crazy. And the way Extra Pete did it.
Oh yeah, I remember that, John.
Yeah, the Boy remix. The Stress remix.
Oh yeah.
I hated that song when it first came out. It sounded like it was like a scary fucking movie, and in the video.
That's the point.
What's the point? You ain't like Stress? I like that. I mean, the remix is better, but I like Stress.
I hated that original. And then the way it comes in with the tap repeat button, yo, it's the verbalist, yo, man.
Yeah, that one was the remix is dope. Don't forget the Common joint.
Yeah, that's what I'm about to say. That Common
Resurrection.
Yeah.
Again, for cash listening, We'll Make Beats for B. It's called The Live Guy with Glasses, double CD mixtape. The other thing about Large Pro that a lot of people don't realize, if he wasn't the first, he was one of the first to do rap. Well, have solos in his beats. And what I mean by that is, if you listen to Snake Eyes on this, there's a flute solo. There's just like 10 seconds of just a flute. You know, that was unheard of in hip hop. Cash was not doing get a drum or something, like just do a 10-second break or this dude had solos of instruments in his music, which was unheard of at the time. It's unheard of now. And like I said, if he wasn't the first, he was definitely one of the first. And one of my favorite Large Pro joints, Faking the Funk.
Yes, sir.
I mean that ba 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 ba, like drums, just the bass line. Can't forget about this joint right here. I pulled this out the other day. The Nelly Vagina. Like, production wise, like I said the other week, you got tired of doing that style, but beat wise, the bomb. Oh come on!
Oh yeah, the bomb's crazy.
Bass
bomb, baby.
That he had them bass lines down pat. Not to mention, the stories he taught, Primo how to work the SP12. He threw Pete the vinyl for Troy. So this dude is just a hip hopper at heart. And even on the mic, that's why I wanted to do the double CD mixtape so that cats could see he was nice on the mic. Again, this is the era of you're not with a magnifying glass. Like nobody heard. Well, I know nobody on my team heard Live at the Barbecue. It was like, oh, well, Nas was the dopest and Akinelli. It was just like, yo, them niggas killed me.
Yeah.
And that's what I miss. I wish we could go back to those days where, like, now it's like, oh, you hear Pox, who ripped who? It's like, yo, just enjoy the fucking music. Like, that's what, like, it was like, yo, you heard Live at the Barbecue, like, oh, he said stuff for Jesus. Oh, who's that dude with that style? And, it was like, yo, it's just a dope song. Like, so definitely, I know a lot of people don't think he's no lyrical whiz, but again, I come from an era where you didn't have to be a lyrical whiz in order to be dope. So definitely Large Pro is my number 3. Beg, who's your number 2, man?
Yeah, just to piggyback on the Large Pro joint. Again, like when I first heard Large Professor, I didn't even know he was a producer. I thought he was a dope rapper when I saw looking at the front door. I was like, yo, this dude is nice.
Exactly.
So it's extra special when you could do that, and then you find out later, oh, he does production also. You know what I'm saying? So he definitely deserves to be mentioned.
And not to even to say this, and I don't never know. And Nick, you kind of brought this up once about Pete and Tip having a little back and forth. I always wonder because there were a couple of beats that Large used first that Tip ended up using. You know, like just a friendly game of baseball.
I was about to mention that's the first time I heard it because I think I heard the Boys in the Hood soundtrack before I heard Breaking Atoms for some reason.
Right.
So that was my introduction, was the Friendly Game of Baseball.
Yeah, and the Friendly Game of Baseball was that sample was the same that Tip used later for If the Papes Will Come, which was a 12. We start off a 12-inch. So again, I don't know if it was a little friendly competition. Nick had a good question for rap once with the main ingredient in Midnight. Same sample, same you know, what's going on, you know. But yeah, just thought about that real quick. So Van, who's your number 2?
My number 2 is Q-Tip. Again, you know, around that time, you know, I was always like I love hip hop and I love the beats, but I wasn't always checking to see who produced. Like you said back then, you know, you would read the credits, but that was more like cherry on top. I was there for whatever the rappers were doing, and you know, I always thought Q-Tip was dope. Like especially that because I'm not a fan of the first Tribe album. Like I like songs off of there, but I liked Q-Tip. You know what I'm saying? Even the El Segundo joint because he's a master of ceremonies. That's what an MC is, you know what I'm saying? So even when you got a song like El Segundo and you talk about leaving your wallet and you can captivate me, you know what I'm saying? You're doing your job. But you know, he just got better with time. And again, when they came out with that documentary, Beats, Rhymes, and Life, I didn't even know he did all of Low End Theory. So, like, my mind was blown because, you know, like you said before, it's like, well, what the hell do Ali do? Like, you know what I'm saying?
Exactly.
I thought he did that. And that just made me...
that is fake. That's the era we came up in of where the DJ was the producer. Or you thought.
Yeah, like, exactly.
Because you used to just say produced by a Tribe Called Quest. It ain't like single out nobody. Yeah.
Exactly. And you always kind of like, especially in a time where, like, now I don't even watch videos. I may watch a Kendrick video, but back then, you know, we wanted, if a video was coming out, we had to see that shit.
To see it.
And if the dude who's not talking, you automatically like, he's the DJ, he's the producer. But to know that Q-Tip was pulling double duty, and you think about the lyrics and the verses, like on Hot Sex on the Platter, like he in the video, he got snuff, he's still killing that shit. You know what I'm saying? For people who didn't know, that's where the mask on. Rex in effect.
Yeah, they caught him with the eye jamming.
Yeah, caught him with the eye jamming because of Phife. But you know what I'm saying? Like he's just one of the dopest because he can again carry both sides of it. You know what I'm saying? You can respect him as a rapper. You know what I'm saying? Like how people go in the Hall of Fame. You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. You going in as a rapper. You're also going in as a producer because you did both at a certain level that not a lot of cats can do. So, and that was really like a debate between that and my number 1. So, Q-Tip.
No doubt. Nick, who you got for your number 2?
Lost Professor, and you pretty much said all that needed to be said about that. You know what I mean? Looking at the front door, Friendly Game of Baseball, Peace is Not the Word to Play. He was just dope. And another thing I liked about him, because back when that came out, I think I was 12, so I wasn't getting no tight ass haircuts. So to see a dope rapper with like a little fro, that always made me feel good about myself. So that's another reason I love Lost Professor.
No doubt. Another thing about Large is I feel like if the LP,
that would have come out
when it was supposed to drop, like cats would be talking about him on another level because you know.
Yo, send me a copy of that. I don't have that.
Oh yeah, hell yeah.
I don't think I ever heard it.
Oh,
me too.
It's dope. I got you. But yeah, if this would have dropped when it was supposed to drop, like I think this eventually came out like in the 2000s.
2002.
Yeah, 2000.
Yeah.
Like this
came out like 95, 96.
Yeah, this was dropping 95, 96. You know what I mean? And by the time the 2000s came, this is all SP12, gritty, grungy. You know, by the time the 2000s come, you know, we already through the bad boy era and everything got to have you know, my man Roots would call it air candy. You gotta have sprinkles and different things. It went from making your snare sound like a pimp, so you gotta have air candy.
Yeah.
Like, where's the air candy? And I'm like, damn, the pimp. He's like, nah, now it's air candy. Like, so this is just all dirt and grungy and everything. And I mean, you know, if you like, you know, Mad Scientist, I Just Want to Chill, that's the vibe of this whole album right there. That was dope. So I definitely think if this would have came out, I mean, you see the picture on the back, the dude mad young. So, you know, like, yeah, like, so if this would have came, I think Cass would be talking about Large Professor much differently than what they currently are. But that's what it is. Jace, who's your number 2, bro?
Large Professor, for everything y'all just said, and especially the LP. Yeah. Next.
Greg, who's your number 2?
Large Pro. Only thing I can change that you didn't say was that me and him share the same birthday, as long with Primo. Other than that, everybody hit the whole nail on the head, man. He is Kanye before Kanye knew he was fucking Kanye. Mm-hmm. And if that album that you held up would have dropped when he said Queens represent by the album when I drop it,
yeah,
we'd be really. I think we truly would be talking about Large Professor in a totally different light, man. I just don't think his light got to shine the way it should have.
Yeah,
you know,
the joint he did for like on the production side, the joint he did for Apache. That's one of my favorite beats.
Yeah,
the Hey Girl beat.
The Hey Girl was crazy because it was on the B side of the fucking Apache joint. But I always liked the joint he had off of High School High. Not so much for he didn't do no production, but I just loved how him and Pete would go back and forth, man.
Yeah.
But yeah, man, Large Pro, man, fellow Aries.
Yeah, and then the other last thing, I think the more his albums would come out, I think like Large Pro kind of got stuck. You know what I mean? And he's a very 90s MC.
He's a New York dude, man. He's an old head New York dude. He walk up on you, what's up, son? What's up, B?
Yeah, and
he still do like the poses with his hand. Like he says pictures on Instagram.
Yeah, this is no knock on him, but
we need that.
That's why I don't know if a lot of his stuff kind of moved towards in the 2000s, because if you're a boom bap dude and that's all you do, that's where it kind of is. But that's why, again, get that live guy with glasses, because he got some dope joints off those.
I'm gonna get that tonight, man. I'm gonna rock out to that in the morning.
Great albums, but he has a lot of great songs on those albums, and instead of y'all and cats having to go through it, they're all on it right there. Number two for me was Dilla. Number 2 is Dilla. Again, what Rex said, we already know the beat. Y'all know how I feel about Dilla. And rhyme wise, I thought he was dope. Like every time Slum out here, Slum, I always love what he had. I mean, you know, one of my favorite lines off of Beach and them, you know, I usually rock around 92 BPMs, you know, like me. Rex would see me in his verse on Thelonious.
He murdered him. I think he got comments on Thelonious.
He did.
He should let somebody else hook it. Numbers look crooked.
Like King Kong shit. Yeah.
Lyrically, like I had no beef with this dude at all. So
forget about the J-Lib project.
The Rough Draft.
Yeah, it's
Rough Draft.
It's like Dilla. Like I'm like, yo, put
Chain
on
swinging.
Yo, fuck the police.
What he said about? He said he was in the booth.
In the booth, chain swinging.
Sounded like extra percussion.
Yeah, I mean.
It's one of those things, and we talk about this on another show, but it's one of those things that when people say things like Dilla's not a good MC, again, I'm not lyrical genius, but a good MC,
he's dope.
You listen to a lot of Dilla, or we just don't need to be friends.
He's dope.
You know, like I get it. Maybe because people love to debate stuff and then be like, "Yo, did you even hear it?" You like, no. It's like that's why before you debate with people, I'm like, "Yo, have you heard X, Y, and Z?" Well, no. Then what are you talking for? Like, listen to it and then let's talk about it. So I think a lot of people just never paid attention to the Rough Draft and all the stuff that Jay loves Japan and all the stuff that Jay was putting out that a lot of people probably never heard. But now we down to number 1. Vague, who is your number 1?
My number 1 is Kanye West. I think production-wise, sometimes even to this day, because sometimes, you know, like when you look at, even though I didn't like his last album that much, that old Kanye shows himself in other production opportunities, whether it be R&B or like the Mary J joint. I think he did that, or is he just rhyming on there? The new joint.
Oh no, he didn't do it. He didn't do
it. All right, but yeah, I just think like beat wise, you know, he's another one. He got a ton of classic beats, and rhyming wise, whether he writes them or not, that dude knows how to convey. You could not tell me those aren't his words.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
You gotta prove that shit to me.
It doesn't matter if it's Rhyme Fest or Black Milk or Consequence.
Shit. John Monopoly, for all we know, wrote them bitches.
Yeah, exactly. The thing is you can't tell. Because
Can't Tell Me Nothing is swag fest. I love that song.
Yeah, exactly. He puts his imprint on his music to the point where it sounds like it's coming from him. And you know, who knows? Maybe dudes are writing for him and he's tweaking. You know what I'm saying? To his liking, or vice versa. But I always felt like really he moved up in my list with, like I said, with Watch the Throne as an MC, because production wise I was already a fan, but as an MC, anytime, even with ghostwriters, your shit is better than Jay-Z's. and it's not just the lyrics, it's just his energy was just
the delivery
way more higher than Jay-Z on that shit. You can see it in the videos, like he looked like the fucking man. And it was a lot of them joints where I was like, damn, he spazzed on this, he spazzed on that. And again, you know, this is coming from an MC who writes his own rhymes. You know, if you spitting it like that, whatever, who cares? Like you said, I don't fuck with you hip hop police niggas, man. Fuck that. You know what I'm saying? Because they don't know what they talk about. You know, I'm a dude who write. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. And I write for Dolo. And again, sometimes it's like with Michael Jackson. You know, he has a lot of classic records that he did not write, but when he sing them shits, you know what I'm saying, it's totally different. Luther Vandross, you know what I'm saying? Luther Vandross will take your fucking record. Like that one record he got that I think Dolly Parton sung it first. It's one of the slow jams. I've heard that one. House Is Not a Home, something like that. One of them jams.
Dionne Warwick had that first.
Dionne Warwick.
A lot of people had it. But
yeah, exactly. But when you think about it, or when you hear the Luther version, it's like, nah, that's now his record. And that's how I feel with Kanye. Like, regardless of if, you know, whoever wrote it, it feels like him. And he does the same thing with production. And when you look at some of his albums, that are my favorites, like Registration and Graduation, and especially My Beautiful Dark Fantasy.
It's best work.
Like, this dude is just, you know, I don't like to call him a genius because I don't think he's a genius, but he's special in his game. So even though it was debatable putting him at number one, I think he deserves to be in my top 5.
All right, no doubt. Now, before I do my Kanye dissertation, does anybody have Kanye West?
Does anybody have a what now? Does anybody have Kanye West
at the number 1 spot?
No, he's on my honorable mentions though.
Yeah, he's on my honorable mentions as well.
All right, now Veg, I'm with you. He would have been number 1 for me. You know what I mean? And it's not even just the ghost writing; it's the ghost production.
Yes,
that's the thing that sunk it for Ye. And the reason why I say that is because, you know, Ye came out with Just, so it was kind of like, I always called him like the 2000 Primo and Pete Rock. You know what I mean? Like, I always felt like Primo's soundtrack, you be playing a Primo beat while niggas is shooting dice and about to, you know, do something raunchy. And, you know, Pete was like the soundtrack and just chilling with your boys. Like, that's how Ye was with Just. So when people would say, yo, Just the Ye, I'd be like, yo, I would always play them Cameron's Down and Out. I'd be like, he stands on this beat like this. You know,
Purple Tape.
When I found out he didn't do the beat, everything made it because.
Whoa, he didn't do Down and Out?
Nah, bruh, nah.
We talked about this before because I damn near cried.
He ain't do it. What it was is around those times in the early 2000s, mid 2000s, when they was doing break CDs and all that. Ye said on one of those CDs, I guess he put out, he was like, yeah, one of my young boy producers did this. you know, because people will come up and be like, yo, Down and Out's my favorite beat, and he was like, I ain't even do it. You know what I mean? One of his young boy producers did that. The reason why that sinks Ye for me is because I'm always concerned with Ghost production, Ghost whatever, but not really when you like, by Watch the Throne, I don't care who did Ye's beats anymore at that point. So, but when you're telling me you didn't even do Down and Out, like this is still
early, this like 2000s.
Yeah. And if you ain't do Down and Out, I don't know what you did. It'd almost be like if you found out Primo ain't do Mass Appeal, you like, well, I don't know what you did.
Because it's a literal carbon copy of his style.
Yeah, so that's the thing that I just was like, that kind of, because now I got a question, well, what did you do? And because it came so early, I can't do the Eric Sermon or the Dr. Dre thing and say, well, I'll give you, you know, the first album to the fourth album, and then after that, I won't count it. I don't know what to count, because what else did your young boy producer do? You know what I mean?
Was the kid credited on the count? I need to go look at my count album.
No,
he wasn't credited,
because what it was is at the time, you know, Ye was the shit. So Ye Cameron was like, "Yo, we gotta put your name. We gotta get you on it. Number one, we gotta get you on the hook. We gotta get you in the video, and then we gotta say you produced it." Because really, at that time, if that track would have said produced by Kill, it wouldn't have had the same impact saying produced by Kanye West. Like at that time, Ye's name was golden.
05, 06.
So it would, even with Ye on it, if it said produced by Kill, it wouldn't have had the same oomph and got the same push than the by Kanye. But if it wasn't for that, and then it would start hurting, because again, I'm thinking, okay, nobody's writing, these cats are writing Ye's rhymes later on down the line. But when people was talking about, yo, nah, niggas wrote Jesus Walks, I'm like, I give up, man. Like, I give up. Like, so if it wasn't for the indiscretions of Kanye, he would have definitely been my number one, because I think he's amazing. Like, yeah, I'll even take it to the genius status, because I just feel like there wouldn't be, Ye made a lane that when hip hop, when there was a lane, you know what I mean? He made it so where a normal dude could be a rapper, you know what I mean? And just, I never saw an MC wear his emotions on his sleeve like that, you know, to say the stuff that he said on that Lauryn Hill song, All Falls Down. I mean, I feel like that. Like, I'm not going to the grocery store without an ill-fitted on. Like, I can't. Like, you know, or, you know, the Diamonds in Sierra Leone. Like, you know, hell, I think Ye to this day did the most hip-hop gangster shit in the world when that nigga said George Bush don't care about black people. The most gangster thing. I don't care who shot who. He ain't been shot 10 times. This dude got on TV and said next to my man Austin Powers, yo,
TV
don't care about black people. That's the most
live TV
hip hop to me, you know. So, but all that to just say, if it wasn't for those indiscretions, Ye would have definitely been my number one.
The other thing, that's how I learned about Black Milk.
Okay.
Yeah, from Ye.
He might be one of those ghost producers.
Oh, okay. Yeah, all right, I'm good.
Yeah, because like I know he write rhymes that I'm pretty sure, but when you listen to Black Milk shit, there's a lot of Kanye DNA in his music, or it just might be his DNA for all we know. But yeah, man, I mean, I don't disagree, but again, that's why I brought that stuff up about Havoc, because it's the same thing. These dudes get to a point where it's beats or it's rhymes.
But see, that's the key for me when you get to that point. But it's like when you start off with Jesus Walks with somebody else writing your rhyme, like that's I guess the difference. Like you said, when you get to that point. So with Havoc being on his third album or whatever, like I said, if all the stuff would have came out of Ye like after My Dark Twisted Fantasy, but I'm like, yo, like I was heartbroken when I found out Rhyme Fest wrote like Jesus Walks. Like I'm like, yo, this is the beginning. Like damn, you know, but because the whole thing was like, yo, I'm Kanye, I rhyme. Like that was the whole story of him trying to get on at rock. Like, nah, nigga, just shut up and make beats. So it's like, it'd be like if I found out you got a ghost producer, Vegas, like you're an MC. Like, yo, why? So if you like Kanye, yo, sign me to Rockefeller, I rhyme. Why is Rhyme Fest writing your rhymes? Like, that's the part that hurts me.
Yeah, I think, but he wrote the majority of his stuff. He's still an MC. It's just that sometimes once you in that machine, you know, they need singers. Yeah. And if you ain't capable of giving them that, then they bringing the help. Like,
but again, I'm like, Jesus walks. Like, what? I mean, it's Jesus, and this wasn't no single. They didn't want this. Like you said, like I got niggas in the club talking about Jesus. Like, I don't know. Like, I'm like, if you could write all falls down, write Jesus walks. Like, you can't be no Muslim and you ain't write, Allah's, but you wrote, the club is hot. Like, come on, man. Like, that shit is me. But all right, Nick, who's your number one, bro?
Number one is Q-Tip. You know what I mean? Like Big said, I think you had him at number 2. Tip is one of the few cats that like hit the peak production-wise and lyrically, in my opinion. He was like the standout cat in Tribe. He was like the lead MC. He carried Tribe. And then when you find out that he mainly produced the first 3 albums, with the second and third being classic, it's like, come on, you can't deny the man on the production side of things and all the outside production. Even his verses, when he started doing guest verses, like 94ish, 95, he did like Mobb Deep, he did Alcoholics, like he was doing like hot verses. The Wild Hot joint that he did with Busta Rhymes, like the man can spit. Like, he's just dope, man. He's like, and he was one of the first cats that I could listen to like around my parents without them like, Nick, like Too Short is another one of my favorite rappers. I couldn't play that in front of my parents. I could play Tribe Called Quest around my parents. So like Q-Tip, that's my favorite producer, rapper, producer, however you want to call it.
All right, no doubt. And I'm gonna jump in there real quick because that's my number one, so why be laboring? But same thing that Nick just said and Vegas said. I think it was especially when it's like, yo, this dude, like, to me, he was a Tribe Called Quest. You know what I mean?
Basically, yeah.
I remember people's instinctives being like, yo, why is there 4 people in this group? Like, at least Phife came out with Bud, and it was like, oh, okay, that's why he's here. But why the fuck these other two? Why Jerobe? Then Jerobe left. Now I'm like, okay, good. So I'm still thinking Ali's doing the beats, but then you see the documentary. It's like, yo, you had to drag Phife to the studio and you doing the beats, and I mean, come on, it's not like Tribe got a whole bunch of scratches on their album, so really what was Ali scratching? So it's literally like this dude was one group almost, like, it made 2 classic back-to-back albums. I know some people love a beat distinctive, so for some people it's 3, and then the production, I mean, Gangsta Bitch with Apache, just the drums, like, I was like, whoa, and like I always tell people, most people don't think about it, I'm always like, what if Beats, Rhymes, and Life had those beats that he was giving Mobb Deep? You know what I mean? What if those Mobb Deep beats was on Beats, Rhymes, and Life? What if that Crooklyn joint was on Beats, Rhymes? What that Craig Mack was on Beats, Rhymes? Like, we're talking about a whole nother different album, than what we got with Beats, Rhymes, and Life. But again, that goes to that John Davis Q-Tip.
Come on, all for Reed.
It's 2 totally different styles. You can't pop in Beats, Rhymes, and Life and hear the same.
Right.
Again, the snares that I'm talking about, listen to Beats, Rhymes, and Life and listen to them snares. And then go and listen to Once Again, which is just a sad, Check the Rhyme ripoff. It really
very sad.
Check the Rhyme ripoff.
I like Once Again, man.
With these niggas going down sliding boards. Like, yo, what
sliding boards.
So, but Tip, and I always thought he was a dope MC. We did a show a while back with Eb and Bezo trying to break down the difference between an MC, a lyricist, and a rapper, and they kind of put Tip in the MC category. And I always thought he was a dope lyricist. I thought not too many times pre Beats, Rhymes, and Life did I ever think Tip came whack with a verse. Or not like that. I always looked at Phife as the sidekick. I never looked at Phife as an equal to Tip, which is bugged because some people think Phife is better than Tip. Tip is number 3.
Yeah, I don't know none of those people personally. Anybody here say Phife is better than Tip?
Yo, I know. Yo, you don't understand, bro. Vegas, you may have been there. It was an anniversary show, Strictly Hip Hop. It was me and my man Donnell, and I said on air, it ain't like nobody think Phife is nicer than Q-Tip, and my man Donnell was like, nah, he is. And I was like, yo, whoa, slow down. I've been talking hip-hop for 30 years. I ain't never heard this. I was like, yo, if y'all think Phife is better, call up. And people was calling up. And like, there's a lot of people. A lot. Phife is better. They just beat Baltimore, maybe.
Well,
You know,
I was there, and I kind of like it's hard to commit to it because I always felt like Q-Tip was better. But I was thinking like Phife has the memorable lines.
Yeah.
And it might be because Q-Tip is more of a wordsmith with his rhymes and his lyricism.
Right.
Phife is more a punchline dude.
Right.
So it's easy to remember Phife's
The
joints
punchlines.
because there's punchlines and they're more impactful. But Q-Tip is just kind of unlimited with his rhymes, whereas if Phife ain't got the punches, like that 8 Million Stories bullshit.
You ain't like 8 Million Stories?
And see,
Went
that's
to
what
Carvel to get a milkshake.
Exactly. And my little,
Like you ain't never been to Carvel. Like you ain't never been to Carvel.
I ain't never been to
Let's see. Let's go into the low end theory Midnight Marauders debate. When people say there are no skips on Midnight Marauders, 8 Million Stories gets the skip for me, bro. I cannot listen.
It doesn't get a skip, but I mean,
the skip for me, bro. It's like
I feel like we compare because they would all.
My little brother wants Barney Cool. I'm getting it.
Yeah, come on, man. Like that's a phone conversation. That's no rap.
Don't make me go get my shirt, man. I'm gonna have to go get my shirt.
I get it. But I think what happens is when you set up structures like that, I know for me at least, it's comparable to the last album. So I'm like, oh, this is Phife solo. It better be better than Butter, and it wasn't. I don't think it was. But it wasn't worse than Butter.
That was part of it too. That was part of it too.
From the abstract, I like that better, but I do like Midnight. You know, I even like that joint Crew off of Beach Rhymes of Life.
Yeah.
I like his Tip solo joint on that. But again, yes, there were a lot of people who thought Phife was better. I'm with Vegas. He has the punchlines. That just never meant much to me. Like bust a nut inside your eye and show you where I come from. That was, again, and I'm the dude who was never the like magnifying. Is that a good verse? I'm like, whatever. You know, Bo knows this or Bo knows that. Like, I'm good. It's almost like Mace would have more of the more memorable verses, probably off of More Money, More Problems, maybe than Big. But that doesn't mean that Mace was a doper MC than Big, just because you have more memorable moments. But Jace, who's your number one?
Dilla. The J-Lib Project Rough Draft off the Slum Village Volume 2 Climax.
Yeah.
He rode the pocket in that and what he was spitting.
Yeah.
His production goes without saying, man. Thelonious, like you said already. If you've heard Thelonious and you don't like it, we can't
Kill
talk.
yourself. Slap yourself.
Exactly. We can't be friends.
You go sit in the corner with the dunce cap. And real quick, because I know we're going to go around. Are we doing honorable mentions or just get it out?
No, we could go around. You can get yours out now. Well, let me get Rex first one and two.
Go ahead, Rex.
Rex, who's your number one?
All right, so let me put this disclaimer out, man. I look at Q-Tip in a totally different light. I didn't even have him in this conversation because to me, he is God when it comes to the producer MC. So I knew somebody was going to have him, so I didn't even look at him. My number one is PR, man. Chocolate Boy Wonder.
Okay.
Not mad at that.
I love when Pete Rock, man, jumps on a track, man. Soul Brother number one. I still bang that joint, like to this day.
Yep. My favorite song.
The main ingredient I liked a lot because he rapped a lot more. When he started doing remixes, the remix was not complete unless he spit. So for me, Pete, man, was just, he hit you with both. Like he made sure he gave you something tight and he threw a 16 in there for you. So I just really appreciated Pete Rock from that aspect, man. I look at Pete as the rapper producer. Like he can do both. Like he can release an album that he can rap on. He can give you an album with just beats and it's gonna be tight. I just stay away from Q-Tip when it comes to this conversation, just from where I put him from a personal standpoint. But that is my number one.
All right, no, I ain't mad at that. The only reason,
not mad at it at all.
The reason why Pete didn't make it to my list again, the ghostwriting, Kuba writing his verses.
And see, I just found that out last week. I didn't even know that.
Yeah, so like that's the only knock on Pete because I love Pete Rhymin. I don't got he got a dope voice.
Dope voice, yep.
He rides his pocket. He don't sound offbeat, nothing like that.
I got no beef with that from Soul Survivor. Even taking the Rakim line, I take 7 SPs, put them in a line. Like I'm good with that. Speaking of Pete, I'm an old magazine junkie. You come to my crib, it's old sources everywhere. There's old source. had a dope article with Pete Rock back in the day, man. And this was one of my
check the throw out
with that MP. That's what really made me. Pete was the dude that made me want to buy equipment. Like I wanted the SP because of Pete. I wanted the 2000 XL. It was like Pete got one, I want one. You know what I mean? And even this joint, it's an old Remix magazine, but they got a dope, real dope. Here's this joint with Pete. We got another dope joint with Pete. Just about him breaking down how he made the New York's Finest album. A lot of people don't know Young Guru engineered that album. You know what I mean? So very dope, you know. And again, with records, y'all know me. I see records, I'm all in. So being able to get a peek inside Pete Rock studio was just dope to me. Again, seeing the MP 2000, everything like that was dope. So yo, go through y'all. I don't got no honorable mentions, so I'm falling.
Yeah, I got a few. Who's starting off?
Let's start with Rec. Rec, who you got for your honorable mentions, big?
Black Milk, Alchemist, Havoc, Skateboard P, not Pharrell. Kanye, Madlib, Oh No, MF Doom, Diamond D, and Odyssey.
All right, no doubt. Jace, who you got?
Black Milk, Odyssey, EPMD, Eminem, and Busta Rhymes. Busta Rhymes has actually got some dope production on his albums, and he did some for somebody else as well. Don't sleep on Busta. Period. I think Busta's very underrated.
Yo, I never knew he even did beats. He
did some on that Leaders of the New School too.
Yep.
Oh, that's classic right there. I'm gonna have to go back check that.
All right, no doubt.
Like Black Milk is on there. Kanye, Dre, Dilla, Madlib, Doom, Diamond D, Lord Finesse, and even Showbiz. Because I like when Showbiz rapped on Runaway Slave. I dug him on that.
Yeah.
So Showbiz.
Yeah.
Pete Rock. I can't forget Pete Rock.
Pete Rock. That's my shit.
All right, Veg, you got any honorable mention joints?
Yeah, Eric Sermon. I like Big Crit's production.
Yeah.
LP. I'm probably more of a fan of his production with Run the Jewels than a lot of the other stuff.
I gotta check them out.
What, Run the Jewels?
Yeah.
Yeah, shit is hot. But what else I had? Oh, and Dilla. Now, I was one of those cats where I didn't even know Dilla rhymed for a minute because I couldn't separate him from some of the other rappers in the group. So I didn't even know he was rapping at some points until people started to point out, like, oh yeah, that's Dilla's verse. And I'm like, what? Like, you know what I'm saying? Because I always knew him for production. I didn't know he was that good as a rapper, but it never struck a chord with me to feel like, you know, he's one of the best ever. But I mean, shit, if he's writing them himself, you know, that puts him above a lot of cats. So Dilla was definitely an honorable mention.
No doubt. And to go back a couple of weeks ago for the show about MCs with dope verses who couldn't make dope albums, I thought of two more. I heard two things today that reminded me of it. Number one is Deck from the Wu. You know what I mean? I was listening to Above the Clouds, and yo, Deck is gonna give you a dope 60. Like, yo, when he comes in with Above the Clouds, or you know, with Triumph, like, yo, Deck is gonna give mentally extra large, wild like rock stars that smash
guitars. Yeah,
it was just like he took that track, like it was like he stuffed Guru in the mouth and just like yo, like Cube, like give me that beat, fool. Like, all right, Guru, you said reflection off the glass, off the rivers and shit. Like, let me really kill this beat. And so I just always loved that. And here's one that a lot of people may laugh at. Yo, Eve can give you a nice 16.
Who?
Eve, the rapper from Philly.
Oh.
Like, she can give you a dope 16. I'm not saying she's gonna give you a dope song, but I was like listening to her verse on the A. Marie remix for one thing, and Hot Boys with, you know, the remix with Missy's joint. Like, she's gonna give you a nice 16. I've never listened to an Eve album, to be honest with you. So I can't really. Can anyone speak and say if she's made a good album? Has anyone?
What did Sean Price say? None of them. None of them.
So, how is the Eve album? Nick, how is the Eve album since you've heard one? Is it dope or?
Oh, I was gonna say they all trash.
Oh, okay, cool. Sometimes like, I just assume things, and that's what I assumed. So that's why we got that joint. Yo, real quick, I want to chop it up. One of the things I want to do too, because a lot of times I don't have as much time to write. I used to write reviews a lot more. I don't have a lot of time to write. So sometimes people be like, "Kill, what you think about this? What you think?" So I figured we take a little segment to kind of chop it up about different albums. You got Tory Wolf, white singer. I don't even know really much about it. It probably wouldn't even call my ear, but I see all that people produced it. A-Rap music, and my man King of Chill from First Priority family back in the day, with Milk and Paz K and MC Light did some production on it. So send it out to everybody. So real quick, DJ Rec One, what did you think about the Tory Wolf album?
All right, so I know Nick has heard of Bjork. She reminded me of what I think Bjork would have been had she taken on a hip hop role. Had Bjork kind of jumped into this lane, it would have been. I don't even think she understands how big of a following she would have gained, because I think at the time we needed something like that. Something off to the left with some boom bap, some Primo, 90s Primo. Okay. Yeah. But yo, it's dope. It is dope. I truly enjoyed it. I listened to it about 2 or 3 times. It's a dope album. It's a dope album, man. I'm interested to see what else she has. I'm gonna go back and check some more stuff, because I know that she had some stuff out either late last year or late the year before that. Okay. But I didn't know that she had an album out. I just like the project. It just gone, and then you hit me with that. Dope, man. I appreciate that, because I needed a change. I too much hip hop right now, man. I needed a change.
Thing I thought the album was dope, so I gave it 4 mics.
Yeah, definitely 4. I give it 4. It's solid, man. It's solid.
Dope to me was just the fact that a lot of the beats didn't sound Primo-ish. Like, if it wasn't for the scratches, I probably don't know the first Primo-ish type beat to like maybe track 9. Like, I'm like, but other than that, like, it was like, yo, this is dope. Like, yo, Shorty sounds dope. And for a while, like, I haven't really been liking what Primo's been scratching. Like, back in the day, Primo scratches like went perfectly with the song. Like, it's been a while. I feel like he just scratching anything, but I felt like like the stuff he's scratching really sounds dope. Like, the first joint where it's like Everlasting and he's using Rock Slim, and the first joint using the Dilated Peoples. I seen the last come first. I seen the first, like, the scratches are going perfect with it. It's dope. A-Rap music kills his joint.
Yeah, man, that sounds
like no A-Rap. I would have never known in a million years he did that joint. King of Chill comes through. It was just dope seeing his name again. So definitely a dope album to me. 4 mics. Like you said, if you need a break from hip hop, it's definitely an album I think you should check out. Nick, you the resident alternative person, because you be posting shit that none of us ever.
Like an album cover with a balloon and a lollipop.
Talk about rank 'em.
Yeah, rank 'em.
The lollipop or the balloon? Shit.
On the rank 'em, I don't know my man's name, but he'll like inbox me be like, Nick, just start up some shit. So I'll just come up with some crazy rank 'em.
Oh my god.
Just to fuck with folks sometimes.
Man.
But I dug it. Like you said, like some of the beats. One cat that produced for Drake was on there. I can't remember his name. Was like Zombie or some shit.
Yeah, because it's basically Primo, I think, did 12, A-Rap did 1, King of Chill did 2, and then Zombie did 1.
Yeah. So, like you said, I dug it because it's one of those things where Preem went out of his lane. Like some of the beats, like you said, I wouldn't have known. If the scratching wasn't in there, I'd be like, damn, Preem did this. Mm-hmm. So I was impressed. And she got a unique voice.
Yes.
So I dug the project overall. I liked it.
And the thing that I also liked about that, like you said, is I felt like Preem went. I call it my like how Deck told, like Jizzit told Dave Chappelle, diversify your funds. Primo diversified himself because with the Christina Aguilera work he did, I felt like they were still regular Primo beats.
Exactly. She just sang over them.
Yeah. She just sang over them. Whereas with this, I don't feel like any of these beats, maybe except like I said, I think it's number 9. I would have heard it.
Yeah, that's like, exactly.
So that was dope. Babe, what did you think about it?
I thought it was cool, man. like I always like singers with, you know, with that style of voice. I thought it went well with the beats. There were some cases where I felt like it didn't mesh as well because maybe what she was singing about conceptually, some of the beats were just too in the hip hop lane, and then there were some where you could tell that they found the middle ground where it had hip hop as a foundation, but it matched, you know, intensity of her voice. It matched the whatever she was singing about. I thought it was cool overall. You know, again, like I think I mentioned this before. Sometimes it's difficult. I know for me personally to hear somebody with a similar style like Napalm or I'm just talking about voice wise.
Yeah.
Like a Napalm, like the other chick who I always forget, Sanu Aguilera or whatever.
Sna Allegra.
Yeah. And you know, those are people who I think are dope. And though this music isn't that similar, it's hard not to draw comparisons and see like, okay, well, do I like this better than what I heard before? But I was like, a little bit impressed because I ain't gonna front, man. In recent years, man, I was looking at Primo. I never thought I would look at Primo like, Primo did it. I don't care, because it got to a point where hip hop where I kind of knew what I was gonna hear before I would hear it with him.
Yeah.
And that could have been equipment based. That could have been just picking up old beats or just staying married to a style. But I do hear the growth in this project in Prime, and I like it because it feels like, you know, Primo's starting to branch out and maybe he's getting some more legs. Because, you know, I would be happy for him to, you know, become one of those dudes again that people want to work with, whether they on the mainstream side or underground. But the project as a whole, I thought it was cool. I think more people should check it out. You know what I'm saying? Especially if you're a hip hop head, but you need a break, but you know you don't want that much of a break. The beats are perfect, man. It's in that lane, so I thought it was cool.
No doubt. And Jace, you didn't have time to check it, right?
I haven't heard the whole thing yet, but what I've heard is dope thus far.
All right, no doubt. And like I said,
I'm glad Vegas brought up the Prime project because one quick thing, I think that working with Royce and then with this chick, I think it kind of challenged Preem a little bit because you know Preem working with the NYGs and some of the cats he worked with, he can just like throw a project together like y'all niggas gonna rap on this and that's that. But with certain people, they're gonna challenge him, and I think that's what he needs to do from now on to kind of get out of his comfort zone.
Yeah, no doubt. And real quick before we end, my book of the week, and it probably end up being a book of the month because I'll run out of books probably after 15, 16 episodes with hip hop. You know what? It's not just gonna be about hip hop. I'm gonna just throw out all books, but this one right here, SP 1200.
Okay.
In the science of the SP 1200, very hard to find book. I copped this when it first dropped. You've got, I mean, this literally has how the SP is built, how to clean it, how it works. Oh, wow. It's an instruction manual, but then you also have interviews with everybody from Buck Wild to DJ Doom, Jazzy Jeff, Roddy Ride, DJ Spinner, E Swift, Easy Mo B, Rap Lover, Jamie Starr, who was Pete Rock's engineer, Kenny Parker, Lord Finesse, Dick Wiz, E-Beat. I mean, it's a million interviews in here.
What's the name of that book here?
Called the SP 1200, The Art and Science.
Good luck finding it.
Yeah, it's damn good. Yeah, I mean,
who put it together? Who's like the author or whatever?
This was put together by 27 Lens.
27 Lens.
No, by Peabody. It says by Peabody.
Okay.
But I mean, I did this for probably over almost 15 years.
I'm fine.
I copped it when it first came out. But like I said, very dope book. The most amazing thing about it is I remember, you know what? It couldn't have been that old because I remember asking Pete about this on Twitter, and I've only been on Twitter since 2010, so it's probably about 7 years old. But was saying that I guess he was more so like, you got to pay me for my stories, and I ain't mad at that because the funny thing is that from reading this, almost if not more than 60 to 70% of the people said they brought an SP 1200 was because of Pete Rock. You know, because they saw the cover of Main Ingredient, they were like, "Oh, that's what he uses," and that's what I did. So, you know, Pete said he's gonna eventually come out with his own book about the SP1200 and everything like that. And if cats follow him on IG a couple weeks ago, he was playing the OG disc out of the Main Ingredient, stuff like that, which is still bonkers to me that this dude made these beats in 10 seconds. That's you talking about
bonkers is that the disc still works.
SMG shit. Yeah, you ain't never lied about that.
You never had an MP or something?
I ain't never lied about a floppy disk still working 20, 30 years later. So, all right, good looking, y'all. Rec, give them all your info. Let them know where they can catch up with you at.
SoundCloud is JRec1, IG is Worldwide Rec1, and Twitter is @DJRec1.
All right, Jace, what you got?
J Tyler 0801 on IG, @JERIKTYLER on Twitter.
Nick, what you got, bro?
Yep, Twitter, only one way to win, 79. There's WYNN. IG, 14 karat gold, Slum Computer Wizard. As usual, you're not going to find it, so just wait for Kill to post it. He'll tag me in the post.
There you go. There you go. And Veg, what you got?
Yeah, you ain't lying. I'll be looking for your shit to tag me. I'll be like, I don't know where you at. Like, I can't find it. You can follow me on social media @Vegas World INC. And check out my podcast on SoundCloud.com/Hip Hop Now Podcast.
No doubt. And I got to send a shout out to my brother Jason. We were digging last week, ran into
I saw the video.
a lot of people. Very dope day out. And he came up with this idea for me, him, and my man Crazy Fingers. And the funny thing is, Jace, I sent the sample to... And he already sent me back what he got. So I'm like, that's that quick turnaround. I'm like, you can turn this around by tomorrow. But we take one sample once a month. We're taking one sample, giving it to all the producers in the crew and seeing how we use it differently. Like that, I picked the first sample. So we're going to be dropping it tomorrow. We got a SoundCloud page, soundcloud.com. Jace, help me with the name.
It is sample. Hold on.
It is
caution sampling clearance caution sampling clearance.
Yeah, so
I tell y'all something y'all was gonna forget.
Yeah. My brain. It don't 43 has not been kind to me, man. The 43 is one. But so check that out. We're gonna be posting them tomorrow. None of us have heard what the other one has done, so I'm excited.
These are the beats you're posting?
Yeah.
Okay.
So every month we'll be posting the beats, and then like I told Babe, we're gonna be everybody in the crew has got to find or try to find an MC to rhyme over it, and we're gonna put out projects every quarter, which to me is gonna be dope. I don't think it's ever been done where you can have 5 producers flip the same sample, have 5 different MCs come over it and give their take on it. I don't think it's been done before. If it has, so be it. If not, dope idea from Jace. Going through old magazines, definitely one of my favorite Source magazines.
Yeah. Classic cover.
Yeah, with Black Thought. So that's what it is. Y'all already know it is with me, Kill 889 on Twitter, IG. We'll make beats for food. Check out that Live Guy with Glasses mixtape. You will definitely see just how dope Art Professor is. If you know already, it's a great rundown memory lane. If you've never heard of the man, this is definitely a good intro to it. I'll check y'all next week, y'all.
Peace.